Is Bitcoin's bear winter about to turn into a nuclear post-apocalyptic bear cyborg zombie nightmare? Well, maybe. We're going to be looking at some of the technical analysis first before we dive into some of the other things affecting the price of Bitcoin right now. So first, the technical side. If we're looking at the daily, we have seen basically a whole situation of lots of sideways action since we came down from the 6,000 levels to the 3,000 levels. We haven't seen any really big movements up or down. We've gone on the either side of that, trying to test the lower and the higher limits, but we haven't really gone very much in either direction. Yesterday, of course, we did see a bit of a breakdown in the price of Bitcoin, but it wasn't anything very serious. What I'm really watching for, though, not on the daily, but on the weekly, is on the 200-day moving average. Are we going to stay above this key line? We did see back in December that, yes, we did stay above it. We bounced off of that line. We did stay above the 200-day moving average. 3,300 is basically the price that we're watching for now, where that is where Bitcoin's going to make a stand price-wise. If we go that low, will it bounce off like it did in December? And if it does go down through that, well, what happens next? We have been seeing really low volume. We saw pretty low volume back when we did have it around the 6,000 range. Volume wasn't anything amazing by any means. Volume has been relatively low recently as well. Is this kind of a calm before the storm situation? We saw what happened back here. Look at how low the volume was in those weeks leading up to the big move down from 6,000 down to the 3,000 levels. Is this going to be that kind of explosive situation happening again? It could possibly, especially if we break down through that 200-day moving average. We go below 3,300. Obviously, then we're looking towards the 3,000 level. That's a key number in a lot of investors' minds when it comes down to it. There's a lot of buy orders in around 3,000. If we do go down through 3,000, I'd be looking towards 2,800. We do have some previous historical support there, so that could be a place where, again, Bitcoin makes another stand. Vinny Langham is saying that if we do break below the $3,000 mark, that the crypto winter will indeed become a crypto nuclear winter. And he's not really wrong when it comes down to this. If we sustain below 3,000, I'm not just talking about like, oh my God, it was like, 2,950 on Coinbase for like 2 minutes. That's not breaking below 3,000 really. That's a temporary situation. If we sustain below 3,000 for any given amount of time, again, it's going to be putting a lot of pressure on the crypto economy overall. We're going to see more companies shutting shop. We're going to see more miners going out of business. We're going to see more exchanges shutting down. We just lost a couple exchanges in the past couple of days. And look, Liquid.io, who cares? I mean, really. But that was the problem, is that they weren't doing any volume because nobody was using it. There are only a few exchanges that are actually doing legitimately large amounts of business right now. And a lot of the bears are saying that right now what we need to see happen, more exchanges need to close, more businesses need to go out. And then we can begin this recovery phase, this phoenix rising from the ashes after significant more amounts of pain. What's your pain threshold, guys? How much more are you ready for? Because Bitcoin can really, really surprise. It really can. We could be in for some very painful times ahead. JP Morgan analysts are calling for Bitcoin to go down to $1,260. Damn, that's some cheap Bitcoin. I want it. Give it to me. But don't give it to me because it's going to destroy the crypto markets. I'm torn, guys. I want the cheap Bitcoin, but I don't want to scare everybody away from Bitcoin. It's a tough call. And look, it's not unsurprising to see this kind of a pessimistic price coming from the JP Morgan team. I mean, these are the guys whose mantra is basically blockchain, not Bitcoin, blockchain, not Bitcoin. So yeah, there's that. Now, with all of the price drama going on, we've seen a lot of money running back into Tether, and I think it's worth a moment of commentary on the current situation going on with stablecoins. Tether, in spite of its flaws, remains the king of kings when it comes down to the crypto markets. Currently, it's a $2 billion market cap. At the time of recording this video, it was number 4 on CoinMarketCap. Most importantly, though, $4.8 billion in volume in the last 24 hours on Tether. That is amazing. Puts all of the other stable coins to absolute shame. We look at Circle Dollar, for example, $318 million market cap, only $34 million in volume, abysmally low. True USD, $211 million market cap, $80 million in volume. Not terrible. It's not $4.8 billion though. Paxos, $134 million market cap, $81 million in volume, and the Gemini Dollar, $93 million market cap, and only $20 million in total volume. So the stable coins, they're growing. It's nice to see that diversity in the market, but Tether has definitely still got the market cornered. It's got the most gateways, and when it comes down to people looking to hedge, they're going to Tether still. They're not really going to these other coins yet. I mean, they are. Total between them, we've got around $200 million in volume, so that's not insignificant by any means, but it's not $4.8 billion, is it? No, it's not. Now look, unless Bitcoin stages a significant recovery before February 2nd, it will essentially mark a new record for the longest Bitcoin price correction. Previously, we had a 420-day mark, which ended the 2015 bear market, followed by a period of accumulation and sideways action, followed by an 826-day bull run, so there's that to look forward to. Price recovery is going to be a slow and steady process. Anybody who's saying that we're going to go to the moon overnight, it's not going to happen right now in the current market situation, especially with the bears calling for much lower prices. And I remain skeptical of the calls of people who are saying that Bitcoin is going to go down to $1,200 or down to $2,000. I think that $3,000 is a very, very strong level. We are going to hold support there. Again, we might see some situation where we get temporarily down below 3,000, but I don't think it's going to stick. If it does stick, it's got some pretty serious implications, though, for the overall crypto markets. The question is, what's your long-term goal? Because if you're looking at this in a long-term situation, not just how can I make money tomorrow, how can I become rich overnight, if you're looking at this as a long-term investment for your Bitcoin, then this is an amazing time for dollar cost averagers. And I know there's some of you guys out there who are doing the diligent dollar cost averaging in. You know, every 2 weeks, you're taking your paycheck, you're buying more Bitcoin. And that's awesome. It's such a good time to be dollar cost averaging right now. Because if you've been doing that for the last year, you're doing really well. And yeah, you could say, but you should have saved all your money and bought it now. Well, great. Hindsight 2020. If you're able to predict that kind of future, well done to you. Most people can't, which is why dollar cost averaging is a nice way to ease your way into it. Because looking a few years down the track here, honestly, there's so much happening for Bitcoin. To assume that the price is not going to go back up seems almost like the crazy thing to me when it comes down to it. And of course, lots of people always come out and like to throw their predictions around. You have Tom Lee from Fundstrat coming out saying that we're going to see a fresh new all-time high, $25,000 coming up in the near future. And permabull, that guy. You got to appreciate the optimism without a doubt. And in a kind of weird way, I'm not rooting for a bull run to happen tomorrow. I'm quite happy with some time for accumulation. It's great. I mean, I want the bull run to come again. Everybody does. But I'm patient. I can wait a year. I can wait 2 years. That's totally cool. I don't mind. I think it would be more positive for the overall economy if we were able to get a higher low. If we could get Bitcoin up around $6,000 or $8,000, it would just generate so much more interest. So many more people would be keen on getting into Bitcoin, which is ironic. I know, because really they should be excited about $3,000 Bitcoin, not $8,000 Bitcoin, but that's not how psychology works. People, when they see a higher price, they go, oh, that must be more legitimate. Just think about how many companies and people are going to FOMO into Bitcoin when it's like $100,000. It's going to happen, just like it did at $20,000. And it's also really, really worth noting that in spite of this difficult market situation that we see happening right now, the markets are making millionaires every single day. There are people who are shorting the market. They're making money. There are people who are finding the hot new crypto projects. Anybody who got into Grin, I guess they're grinning now, aren't they? Lol, pun. But seriously, those guys made some money. Went from 250 to 1250. Look what happened to Tron in the last one. It's up like 136% or something like that. It's happening. People are still making money in the crypto markets. You just have to be a little more diligent, and you have to find the opportunities because they're out there. They really, really are. And you have to keep in mind too, Bitcoin is no longer some obscure asset. It is a major topic globally along economic, political, and social lines. Look who's talking about it. Look where they're talking about it. They talk about it at the World Economic Forum. They talk about it at government levels. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. To see it at the current price is wild. It's such an opportunity. It's crazy. The fundamentals of Bitcoin have never been better. New technological implementations are coming all the time that get me super excited about the future of Bitcoin. We see Samsung, they're making Bitcoin chips, but they're also going to be putting it in their wallets. The Samsung S10 is going to have a Bitcoin wallet. Awesome. Backed. They're going to be launching their Bitcoin products on the stock markets. We have Fidelity. They're going to be offering it to their high net worth individuals and their hedge funds and all these family offices and things like this. We have the Stock Exchange of Thailand. They're going to offer a cryptocurrency exchange. We have increasing adoption all the time in the developing world from Venezuela to Nigeria and beyond. We have better custody than ever before. We have more regulation, which I know of regulation, right? But realistically, a lot of people aren't going to get into Bitcoin until they have at least some kind of vaguely clear laws on how it's going to be taxed, because it's going to be taxed. I'm not into taxes, but it's going to be taxed. Just like at the same time, we need regulations on storing it and the infrastructure and all these things. Now it's all happening. It's all getting better and better all the time. But none of this means an overnight explosion. Not a single one of those things that I just mentioned means that you're going to wake up tomorrow and the price of Bitcoin is going to have gone up to $100,000. It doesn't work like that. We might see some significant gains happen in a relatively short amount of time due to any one of these things happening, a Bitcoin ETF getting launched, or when the Samsung S10 comes out, we might see a few 100,000 new people get into Bitcoin overnight. But I don't think that any of this one thing together means that we're going to see that overnight explosion where we look back and go, it was definitely Samsung. That was the thing. The S10 Bitcoin wallet, that caused the bull run. It's all these things together, all coming together to form a big picture to see where we're going. Super awesome. And of course, adoption has to be something that we continue to focus on. I saw a comment from Steve Wozniak. He was sitting down with Seth Godin the other day, and he said, my goal with Bitcoin was to travel to a place like Stockholm, go to restaurants and hotels that only accept Bitcoin, and only use Bitcoin when I travel. And that is a really cool thing, and that's possible. I did my 72-hour Bitcoin trip. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that video. It was an amazing way to show that you can go places on Bitcoin. Bitcoin does have a real-world application. For anyone who says, but you can't buy a coffee with Bitcoin. Yeah, no, you can literally buy a coffee with Bitcoin. If your local cafe accepts Bitcoin, you can go and buy a coffee. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. The network fees right now are so low, you can just go do it. So do it. Incentivize your local merchants. Again, we as a community can take charge, at least to a small extent, on the adoption of cryptocurrencies. We do have power as consumers. Interesting as well to see stories like this. This is a German takeout food delivery platform. They have a network of 13,000 restaurants, and they are now letting their customers pay with Bitcoin. Cool thing is, when you pay with Bitcoin, they don't charge any fees. So normally if you're going to pay with PayPal or a credit card, they would charge a 6% fee. With Bitcoin, you don't have to pay that 6% fee. That's super awesome. If you live in Germany and you use this, somebody use this. If you live in Germany, order some food, pay in Bitcoin, write about it down in the comment section. I'd be super excited to hear about that. And of course, we have the security token market coming. This isn't obviously specifically related to Bitcoin, but this is going to have a big effect on the price of Bitcoin and the entire crypto economy, the entire value of the crypto economy, because there are trillions of dollars waiting to be tokenized in terms of global assets, businesses, real estate, etc. This will be a big catalyst for a bull run that will make the ICO bull run look like it never even happened. It'll be some tiny little blip back on the radar. And maybe we have to wait until the Bitcoin halving coming up next year. Obviously, we still need killer dApps. To quote Vitalik Buterin from back in December 2017, he said, "How many unbanked people have we actually banked? How many dApps have we created that have substantial usage?" Because we're lacking in these things. And again, we have a lot being built, but we still need to do better. We still have to keep pushing. The struggle is far from over in terms of taking the Bitcoin revolution to the world. And it's hard. It's hard when the price goes down. You feel despair and depression and all these things coming on. Some people can look counterintuitively to the market and say, "Oh my God, it's an amazing buying opportunity." But when you go to a merchant and you say, "Hey, do you want to start accepting Bitcoin at your business?" They're like, "Didn't that go down like 80%? I don't want to accept that here." So it's hard. That's why I said it'd be great to get back to a at least significantly higher low. To just go sideways at like $10,000 for 6 months, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing because we get a lot of confidence to the market. Obviously, there's always these wild card scenarios of, global financial meltdown and all that stuff, which it could be happening at some point in the near future. Would not be surprised to see it. But the overall sentiment is that we're going to go big time with Bitcoin, guys. I'm a diehard believer in it, in case you didn't figure it out by now. But I really, really do believe that the markets have some exciting surprises in store for us in 2019 and definitely going into 2020 and beyond. The question is, can you make it so that you can think counterintuitively to the herd? Can you think in a way like a smart investor? And can you be patient? Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis. I would love to know your thoughts on the price of Bitcoin right now. Are you buying? Is it something that you're interested in? And when do you think we're going to see a trend reversal and start really building a better price for Bitcoin? Let me know about it down below in the comment section. You guys are super awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come over here and watch the video. Also, if you're based in Europe, get signed up for Binance Jersey. You can now buy Bitcoin or Ethereum using euros or pounds through Bitcoin through Binance Jersey. Also, if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be super awesome. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. You can also hit that notification bell down below to stay up to date when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.